Hi everyone, welcome to the Ravit Show. Today I'm excited to host Jitesh Ghai, CEO of Hyland, a company that's redefining how we think about context, automation, and intelligence in the enterprise space. Jitesh is not a new face to the Ravit Show. We've hosted him earlier and have had amazing insights. But today we are diving into Hyland's latest platform, the Context Innovation Cloud, and a powerful concept you will hear a lot about agentic document processing ADP. Obviously it is something I've been curious since a while. I've been talking to a lot of enterprise leaders and they're excited too, so I'll be obviously learning all about it from Jitesh, great to have you here. Welcome to the Ravit Show again.
Ravit, great being here. Great seeing you. Great connecting with you again, and thrilled to be here talking shop about all things unstructured data and how to innovate with enterprise content. What we call unstructured data or enterprise content.
Fantastic, Jitesh. I'm just going to jump right in it, and I have a curious question, which is about what's driving the need for content innovation right now. What do you think?
Yeah, if you look at the ECM industry, enterprise content management, it's an industry exclusively dedicated to helping enterprises globally manage their unstructured data, their documents, images, etc., ensuring that they're persisted, versioned, governed, compliant, and used appropriately by the appropriate users in an organization. That's what ECM has historically been.
Mm-hmm.
And equally, of course, as a persistent store for unstructured data, enterprise content, enabling searching and discovery, and some amount of process automation leveraging unstructured documents. I think what has radically changed over the last few years is the technology now exists to do so much more with unstructured data. We all had our chat GPT moment in Q4 of 22,
Right.
when large language models and what they can do was really apparent to all of us. And it was at that moment when I realized, wow, you know what? The final frontier in enterprise data is unstructured data, is the enterprise content. And now we can unlock immense value from it. We can innovate with that content. We can empower organizations to innovate with that content and drive incredible value for their stakeholders, for their customers. That's what the Content Innovation Cloud is about. And it's really about AI enabling the content that we, Hyland, are custodians of. We are the entrusted custodians of hundreds of petabytes of mission critical unstructured data.
Mm.
This is unstructured data for large enterprises globally, healthcare systems, insurers, banks, state and local and federal governments. Their most mission critical data is persisted, housed, governed by Hyland. This is not data that Anthropic has. This is not data that Mistral has or Meta has
Yep.
or OpenAI. Pick your favorite large language model developer. They do not have access to this data. Hyland does, and what we're really doing with the Content Innovation Cloud is enabling our customers, our 14,000 strong customers globally, to
Wow.
AI enable their content, and in doing so, AI enable the workflows that are automating business processes with this content. That's the Content Innovation Cloud. That's what we at Hyland are up to.
I love it. One quick question that I have, and these are fantastic insights, Jitesh. When you talk to obviously customers and obviously you all work with larger enterprises out there, do you also see a lot of challenges that Content Innovation Cloud is solving for them in terms of specific use case that comes to your mind? I don't want you to name any customers, but then maybe anything that you kind of feel that, okay, here are a few things that we've been solving and customers are super excited about it.
Yeah. I think what customers are super excited about is they know that they have this mission critical content.
Right.
Now they can Gen AI enable it. Now they can seamlessly not just search and discover the loan documents or
Hmm.
the bank statements or the mortgage documents or the insurance claims. They can also ask questions of the document and get answers from the data, the content within the document.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
all possible because A, we have all the mission critical content. B, we're Gen AI enabling it with our large language models that have
mm,
been fine tuned against enterprise content. And so now what we're enabled to do is historically all you were able to do was enable search and discovery through some rudimentary metadata tagging. Now, with large language models, we're able to give structure to documents. We're able to classify and
love
tell
it.
you that this is a purchase order, but we're able to go a step further and give it structure and tell you this is a purchase order, this is the table, and these are the line items of the various products in the table. This is the discount. This is the average selling price. So, because we can give you the structure, which is now enriched metadata of the document, we can also now give you the actual data. So, not only just doing search and discovery, but now you can drive analytics from your unstructured data. You can ask it questions and get actual answers.
Yeah, these are fantastic insights, and getting those actual answers is something what I know enterprise leaders used to feel a little bit less confident about a few years back, but now things are kind of moving in that direction, and Highland is kind of making that possible too. I wanted to take this opportunity to also shift gears towards something which I'm kind of intrigued about is IDP to ADP as well. And what I mean is, for our audience, ADP is more around the agentic document processing. I have a question around that. What is, first of all, agentic document processing, and how is it different from traditional intelligent document processing, which was IDP? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, yeah, happy to. It's what do our customers rely on Hyland for? It's everything I described, which is that
Yep.
mission critical unstructured data that we're governing, persisting, and now we're Gen AI enabling it. That's what we call content intelligence.
Mm,
But over the last couple of decades, what we've also done, which is very unique to Highland, is we are highly specialized for specific industries. So we have a very large presence in healthcare, in
mm,
insurance, in banking, in state and local and federal government, in higher education. So we have a very deep understanding of the business processes within these different industries. And
right.
so and you'll notice that all of these industries are highly regulated and they're very paper driven. They're very document intensive.
Exactly.
And so what over the years our customers have done is they are driving mission critical business processes
Mm,
with these documents that are in our repositories. Insurance claim approvals, loan approvals, mortgage approvals, um, patient onboarding into a hospital, patient referrals from a general practitioner to a specialist,
right.
all are mission critical workflows that organizations operate on, run also by Highland. So, with that background, what are we doing now? Just like we're AI enabling the content to deliver content intelligence and drive analytics from unstructured data, something never possible before, but now is. Analytics was the domain of structured data.
Yep.
My last life, where I spent 14 years. Uh, in addition to that, we're AI enabling processes, these workflows, these mission critical business processes, and delivering what we call
Mm,
process intelligence. You combine the two, and now you can really deliver enterprise agentic outcomes. Everybody's
mm,
talking about AI agents, but they're really talking about AI agents that are performing rudimentary tasks.
true.
All these agents you hear about are task-based agents. They're scheduling your hair appointment and putting it in
Mhm.
the calendar. You
Right.
know, what we do because of our pedigree, our expertise in understanding mission critical business processes and running those workflows is AI enabling these mission critical business processes. So
Mm,
you have a loan approval business process that is run through Highland. It
Nice.
might have 5 steps from 5 different analysts to review different documents and either approve, decline, or request for more information. Those 5 different human decisions can be replaced with predictive and generative AI models.
Mm.
That now translates a workflow for loan approvals into an enterprise agentic loan approval workflow, an enterprise agent for loan approvals, freeing up these 5 analysts to go do high value work, creative work.
Mm.
That's what we are doing to really drive enterprise agentic outcomes because we uniquely have the content,
Right.
the unstructured data, we have the workflows, and we have the AI to enable the content and the workflows.
Yeah.
Now,
Just a little bit.
in
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
that context, Ravit, agentic document processing is a specialist use case where organizations that are data intensive have
Mm.
large volumes of data coming in. Healthcare providers, healthcare insurers, regular property and casualty insurers, life insurers, retail banks, etc. Lots, huge volumes of documents coming in. And historically, you would use, you asked what IDP was, intelligent document processing. You would use some predictive models. You would need to train those predictive
Yeah.
models. Now, with agentic document processing, we're leapfrogging the industry. We are leveraging large language models in concert with predictive ML models to rapidly understand within minutes. There's no onerous training of models. Within minutes, we're able to classify the
Right.
various documents in a multi-page, 800-page PDF. Will tell you what the patient record is, what the physician note is, what the insurance coverage is, et cetera, et cetera. So that's classifying and separating this PDF. And as I mentioned earlier, we're now able to give structure to what is something that is fundamentally unstructured. We're
Mm.
able to look inside the physician's note and understand the
Wow.
content in the physician's note. And based on that, we are now able to deliver action. So there's the signal or the
Oh,
insight
wow.
from the data, and then an action. So as these documents are coming in, it could be a patient X from their primary care physician saying, "Hey, patient X has um, a skin concern. Let's
Mm.
get that patient in front of a specialist, a dermatologist." What agentic document processing is doing, where IDP stops, is IDP simply tells you this is the classification of the document, and
Yeah.
this is the structure, and extracts relevant metadata from the document and presents and stops there and persists that. What we
Right.
do is we take that metadata, we understand the data, we
Mm.
extract the data, and then take action. So in this example, the action, which is uh, the action here would be to an agentic outcome of extracting the patient's name, extracting the physician's note, automatically routing it to the allergy department, integrating the data within the allergy department EMR, electronic medical record, health record system, and getting the appointment scheduled. This would have required several human interactions and handoffs within an existing healthcare provider. We are doing it through agentic document processing.
Yeah.
Similar use cases and patterns for document processing apply in insurance, in banking, you can imagine in higher education and in
Yep.
student onboarding. That's agentic document processing. That's how we're leapfrogging the state of the art in the industry, and doing it with novel content intelligence, a knowledge graph on top of unstructured data, which is 80% of an enterprise's data estate.
Nice.
Everybody talks about knowledge graphs for structured data with data catalogs, like
Exactly.
Life. Nobody's been able to crack the code on unstructured data. That's exactly what we're doing to deliver the signal and from it, the agentic automation outcome as well.
I love it. These are fantastic insights. I love the use case about the healthcare, and I kind of feel because I talk to various industry enterprise leaders, and sometimes I was talking to one of the CDO from a very big healthcare just 2 days back, as mentioned off air as well, and the challenge for them is they want 99 at least 99.99% accuracy when it comes to regulated industries as healthcare. And if
Mhm.
you all are catering to those sort of industries, it kind of also becomes a very interesting use case that that's the level of accuracy you all want to go around. Because if you're getting into a report, if you are obviously extracting the data from a written report, it has to be that authentic, that perfect. So that was a good example that you shared. I'm kind of also curious. You mentioned about two things: content intelligence lake and knowledge graph. These are two very interesting topics. Always for like knowledge graph, I've been hearing so much, and you're right. It's on structured data. You've been kind of working around it, and it's a little easier. But doing it on unstructured data is something I'm kind of curious about. But what roles do they play in enabling autonomous decisions and actions? What are your thoughts there, Jitesh?
Yeah. I think the key there, which is, as I mentioned, because we have large language models, because GPU price performance is where
Right.
it is and so accessible, we are now able to do operations on unstructured data that were
Mm.
never possible before.
Yeah.
We spoke about knowledge graphs for the purposes of cataloging structured relational data sources like ECMs, ERPs,
ERPs.
HCMs, CRMs, etc. But as I mentioned, 80% of an enterprise's data, 80 to 85%, is unstructured data. And that wasn't possible before. And so, really, we're bringing this concept of cataloging to unstructured data
Right.
because we can derive enriched metadata from documents, because we can derive the underlying data from those documents as well, and because we can apply AI to it, we can now start
Right.
building relationships from one document to other documents that wasn't possible before.
Hmm.
So we can relate the relationships between supplier contracts and the procurement of products from those suppliers to customer contracts that are consuming these specific products from specific suppliers. Now
Yeah.
you've created relationships out of, terabytes of documents that were previously unrelated,
Mm.
and you've given, through this knowledge graph, you've given content intelligent insight, that signal from which now you can drive agentic action.
Mm.
Because you know which customers are consuming which products from which suppliers, you can now automate specific workflows and automate specific decisions in those workflows for agentic processing outcomes. That is very unique to Highland. We're the only ones doing it.
Yep.
And that's because we've spent the last couple of decades perfecting our intellectual property around unstructured data, and we're accelerating that innovation with multiple new services coming online this year. We've already got 4 new services that have come
Nice.
online this year, and many more cloud AI services coming in the second half.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm super excited. I'll be obviously, I'm planning to also do the community live event that you'll have in August. I'll be attending that in person, obviously wanting to see all the innovations come to life, and the newer announcements as well. So I'll be capturing that. But these are fantastic insights. One more question I have for you is more around the, analyst perspective as well. So I myself, I'm a Gartner ambassador, but I'm kind of always curious to know from leaders what you all think. So why do you think it's important for Gartner and analysts to really grasp shift towards agentic outcomes? How does your vision align, and how are they thinking about the future? Do you have any thoughts around that?
Yeah, I've got lots of thoughts around that. I have deep relationships with leading analysts across all the major, analyst firms, whether it's
Yep.
Gartner, IDC, Forrester. I've had it in the structured world with the analysts leading the
Yep.
data management, the data and analytics areas. I also have it in the enterprise content management, the unstructured world. The first perspective, before we get to the agentic one, is they operate in silos, and these two analyst groups need to start talking together because historically, enterprise content management within an enterprise has been a silo. Data and analytics within an enterprise has been a silo, and
Right.
they don't talk to each other. But now the
Okay.
time has come through a federated architecture within the Content Innovation Cloud. We are not just connecting to our own Highland repositories. We can connect to unstructured data and AI enable it wherever it is. But through our federated architecture, we can also connect to systems of record and structured data. So we are, by doing so, with our federated architecture, we are creating a single enterprise data view of structured data and unstructured data because it is now finally possible. And that's
Right.
what gives organizations that 99.999% conviction on whether the data they have is correct, because the document and what it says and what is in a system of record should reconcile to the same thing. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Yep.
Now, because in doing that, we're able to build a knowledge graph, we're able to get the signal, then we can take the action,
Hmm.
and that is the agentic output. Now, there's a few analyst organizations that need to come together. There's the structured data folks that are driving data and
So
analytics
true.
research. There's the unstructured data folks in the ECM. There's also the business process automation analysts.
Hmm.
The
Interesting.
business, the digital process automation, the digital process orchestration, the business process automation. All of these things need to come together to really deliver on agentic outcomes. Why? Because what do you need for an agent? You need content, you need the data,
Hmm.
you need deep understanding of the workflows, the business process orchestration, and you need AI enabling all of it for structured and unstructured data. So, what I would implore all of us to do is start looking at it more holistically across all these three enabling technologies. Why? Because that's what we're doing. That's how we're delivering real enterprise agentic outcomes, not
Right.
practical task-based outcomes. Scheduling a hair appointment is great, but we want to make sure patients get care, students get onboarded into their appropriate higher education organization, loans get approved, insurance claims get approved, and our customers appreciate the value they're creating for their end users by delivering life-changing value to them.
I love it. I love, and it exactly goes back to where you mentioned that your philosophy is still with data, and you want to make sure that change happens, and this kind of connects the dot pretty well. So, Jitesh, thanks for that. But amazing insights that you've shared today. Great conversation. I can't wait for all the announcements that are coming up in the near future as well. We'll keep a close tap on it. It was such an insightful conversation, and I think it kind of also gives our audience a fresh lens on where content and automation are all headed. But before we close, where can people go learn more about the Content Innovation Cloud and the work like your work with agentic documentation processing?
Yeah, well, so first, Hyland.com is the most immediate place to go to learn more.
Right.
Certainly follow me and my leadership team on LinkedIn.
Nice.
We are actively sharing our perspective with immense passion on where the industry needs to go in the context of data, and why we are redefining content management, document processing with AI. And equally, and if not more so, you mentioned it, our annual user conference is in Vegas in late August. It's called
Right.
Community Live. It's where thousands of the brightest minds in content management and unstructured data and process and AI come together. And we're going to have some incredible announcements in just a few months. So I'd encourage you'll be there. I'd encourage everybody listening
Yeah.
and watching to join us in Vegas at Community Live late August.
Can't wait, Jitesh. Such a pleasure, and thanks for all the details. We'll make sure that our audience also kind of gets, these links, and obviously follow Jitesh. He's active on LinkedIn. He kind of does all the product announcements as well. He kind of keeps us updated. So thanks, Jitesh, for taking the time out. But definitely looking forward to meeting you in person late August for the community live event.
Ravit, it's always fun talking shop with you. Great connecting again, and looking forward to seeing you at Community Live.
For sure. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jitesh. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Thank you.